Hello, and welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end, as we focus on one volume each episode. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering Volume 28, Wyper the Berserker, which covers chapters 256 through 264. My name is Joel, and I'll be your host. And joining me today, we have Sean.
So.
And Evan.
So.
Yeah, so we are back with volume 28. So excited to hop into this one. But let's just get a quick overview from the last volume because it's been a minute. Chopper used the whistle to summon the Sky Knight to help defend the Mary against Vassal Shura's attack. They were no match for the Vassal who left them for dead in the Cloud Lake until they were mysteriously rescued by someone. Zoro, Nami, and Robin set off on their own to explore the forest and made the shocking discovery that Upper Yard was actually the other half of Jaya that must have been launched up due to the powerful knock-up stream. Luffy and Sanji managed to defeat Satori and his ball challenge before reuniting with the rest of the crew at the Mary. Now, aware that the gold from Nolan's story must be up here, they decided to go after it for themselves. They split into two teams. One team to sail the Mary to the other side of the island, while the others go directly after the gold. They encounter the Shandians, who have their minds set on defeating Kami and Eneru in order to reclaim the land that once belonged to them hundreds of years ago. The strats from the gold searching party have been split up after being attacked by a giant anaconda, are each on their own. First, let's get to Wapple's Omnivorous Rampage Volume 18, detected a new alloy called Wapple Metal. Wapple receives acclaim for discovering a new type of metal that was being used to make his toys.
Who knew?
So this is what the scientists discovered.
He's on TV. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess like the scientist noticed that there's something like very unique about Wapple's toys, and he took a closer look, and I guess Wapple's creating a unique metal when he like spits stuff out. So, or maybe he's combining things to create this alloy. I don't know, but it's something the scientist hasn't seen before. So yeah, Wapple's getting credit for it.
Good for him. Maybe.
Wapple looks pretty baffled. Like I did what now?
All right, let's move on to chapter 256, Wyper the Berserker. In the past, when Gonfor was Kami, he met with Wyper and the Shandians to try to negotiate how to handle the land of Vars that belonged to them before the Sky People took it over. They failed to reach an agreement as Gonfor will not remove his people who have grown accustomed to the land, and Wyper will accept nothing less than the land being returned to the Shandians. As Raki reflects on the past, she notices that Wyper has dumped Ice's bag of Vars that she promised to bring back for her. Wyper declares that beyond this point, only those who are willing to lay down their lives for this battle should continue. They must be willing to leave behind their comrades in order to take down Eneru. Eneru's forces prepare for battle as well. Eneru decides to make this a game of survival. He asks for bets as to how many of the 81 total warriors will be standing in 3 hours. Eneru is amused by the optimism of his followers, but Eneru declares that only 5 will be standing. The Shandians press onward and counter Shura. All at once, the Shandians are stopped in their tracks. Shura reveals that they have all been captured in a string challenge. He had set up strings of cloud throughout the area, nearly invisible to the naked eye. Just when things looked dire, Wyper had managed to evade the trap and takes out Shura with a blow from the reject dial. Upper Yard survival game, 1 down, 80 to go. So I guess that's why they call it the string challenge.
That's why.
That was a cool reveal.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had mentioned in the last volume, it wasn't clear why it was called the string challenge. So, Oda will typically answer those questions at some point. So if something doesn't really quite make sense at first, usually there's a good answer. So I feel like Oda does a lot to answer those questions that we have, even though it might not be right away. So there's like a delayed payoff for that. Yeah, so what do you guys think of this one?
Yeah, I thought the string theory or the string, sorry, the string reveal was pretty cool. Makes me wonder how we got Ganfor in the sky.
Yeah, so I think he probably had
Connected to
set
him,
up.
maybe.
Yeah, I think he had set up some strings previously, or without like Chopper noticing. So he had some strings set up, or maybe he was able to quickly set something up during like the mid fight. He like he have to like worry about trapping too many people. It was just gone for, so he was probably able to set something a little quicker than maybe something like this, where he like had to take on like a whole army. Would you guys
Yeah,
think
it's a cool
of?
technique.
Yeah. Would you guys think of Eneru's survival game?
He's very arrogant.
Very arrogant.
Shocker.
I don't like
For
this
someone who
guy
calls
at
himself
all.
God. Yeah.
He literally has a servant peeling his banana for him.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, I wouldn't put it
Yeah.
past him. He's he's a commie. He's like, oh yeah, praise me.
Yeah, he's convinced he's a god.
Yeah. So I think this shows like a personality of Eneru, where even though he's he's a god, like he's the god of his land, he also seems to not really take things too seriously. So in this case here, he's like, oh, let's make a game out of like the people's lives here. So his warriors are like, they don't want to like probably like, offend him, be like, oh yeah, I think all of our guys are gonna win, of course, and then like I'm sure everybody else is gonna lose. But like Enru is like more realistic. He's like, yeah, that's not like how it's gonna go down. Like I know I know more than you guys because I'm the god and everything. So he makes a more bold statement saying that only 5 will be left standing. He doesn't say like from which sides. Um, and we see there's kind of an upset here too, where one of the vassals gets taken out, kind of like seemingly out of like left field, but they just kind of get wiped off the board here.
Brutal.
By Wyper, who gets impaled with the heated lance. But people in this manga are recovering from impalements all the time. Ganfor also impaled through the center of the chest. Wyper impaled through the shoulder, arm area. Man.
Yeah, Usopp's nose
and
getting
Luffy,
like shattered.
Yeah, Luffy got impaled through the chest as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a resilient bunch of people.
For sure.
I do appreciate Shura's taunt of silly Shandians. I know my own name without you reminding me.
Yeah, and Shura is also very arrogant here too. So he's pretty confident. He's like, yeah, I set up my trap. You guys fell right into my hand, and he thinks he's got this in the bag. He stopped everybody all at once. So he's like, I just took everybody out, but he missed just one very important person who happens to be wielding a reject dial. So this is the first time we've seen like a dial like this, where like there's like such a strong force on here. It's 10 times more powerful than a regular impact dial. So this one's like really packing some heat.
Yeah, this is a cool finishing move and a cool, like visually very cool fight sequence between Shura and Wyper.
Yeah, very intense.
What is the pumpkin juice reference? Did I miss that? That Ganfor says to Wyper?
Oh, early on in the flashback.
There's nothing I love more than pumpkin juice. Was that a specific thing? Because it really pisses Wyper off, but or is it just silly?
They were drinking pumpkin juice in the last volume, and it might be like a location thing. Like you can only get pumpkin juice in the Fourth Ward or something like that. Where's Ganfor's hideout?
It's somewhere in the clouds.
Is it?
Yeah. Because he has like his own little like pumpkin patch.
Right.
Because the upper yard's been cut off to everybody except for the commies people. Well, the Eneru's people.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know exactly what Gone for is going for here. But yeah, Wyper is just kind of like not in the mood to negotiate here too. So this kind of really shows, Gone for came and like he kind of came in like being like, maybe we can try to come to an agreement. Like we've taken your land, but like we like it too much to give it back. So can we maybe try to find a middle ground? And then like Wyper's kind of like all or nothing. It's like, no, just give it all back. Like this, it doesn't belong to you. Like we're not gonna like do like a half measure here. So they really couldn't come to an agreement, and things got heated. But Wyper, I just think you can get the impression he's very hot headed. The way he reacts to all these things, he gets mad about Rocky having like the Vars trying to collect it for Isa. So there's a lot that kind of like he seems just like a very like seriously uptight person who has like a bone to pick with a lot of people. So,
Hmm.
and then we also do get the early signs that Isa is able to exhibit mantra even as a baby, because she cries when there's a lot of tension in the village. So I think she can just kind of sense like the people like all around her. So like when people around her get like angry, even like elsewhere in the village, like she starts crying. So she's very sensitive to the other people around.
Yeah, something's up with her.
The force is strong in her.
She's gonna be a Jedi someday. Yeah, and then kind of to add on to the point I was making earlier, like Wyper is taking this fight very seriously. Like he's willing to like leave his comrades behind. He's like, if you're too weak to fight, if like you're gonna slow me down, like just stay here. Like we're not gonna like go back for people. Like it's all about one thing, and that's just taking out Eneru. Like that's the only thing that matters. So he's like just like tunnel visioning on this, and like he's very hyper focused, no matter what the cost. Like to him, like this is worth everything to try to kill Eneru, even the the expense of his comrades.
It's really high stakes. It's like you were saying earlier, it's an all-out front for them. Like it's do or die for their race, really.
Yeah.
I to a degree, I get why he is this way. Like I can't really totally blame him for it. So
can't half-ass assault on the ward.
Yeah, it's very personal to him as well. Anything else on this one?
One down. What did they say? 80 to go.
80 to go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Wapple's Omnivorous Rampage Volume 19. Wapple's Toy Shop expands. Wapple's Toy Shop receives a massive upgrade as he achieves recognition and continues to succeed.
It's a big ass shop.
Of course, he's got the white walkie hippo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that at least he knows how to stick to a solid theme.
It's about the branding.
Yeah, it's all about branding.
And this robot dog is still with him too. Stop peeing on him though, which I miss.
So that was probably like the first toy he ever made.
I wonder, maybe. I appreciate that Robson
was one of the three
at center stage, but
yeah. All right, let's get Evan's summary for the next chapter.
Chapter 257, Dial Battle. Gamfer explains the capabilities of an impact dial, which are used in skyfights. It absorbs any impact delivered to it, then releases it at the user's discretion. He also goes into explaining another rare dial, the Destructive Reject Dial, which supposedly is 10 times more powerful than an impact dial. And anyone crazy enough to use it is putting their own life at risk. Gamfer explains mantra as the power to listen, being able to sense other living beings' whereabouts and even their next move. Meanwhile, at Kami Eneru's temple, Eneru senses sure as the feet, but isn't concerned and laughs it off as Yama sends the 50 heavenly warriors into battle. In the jungle, Wyper, who took some damage from using the dial, gathers his men and orders them to split up and search for the 2 remaining vassals. The Shandian warriors are quickly met by the Heavenly Warriors, who are equipped with some powerful dial power. Alone, Luffy wanders aimlessly through the jungle when he is ambushed by a goat, which he catches with a nasty uppercut, sending them flying. To his great dismay, it wasn't a goat, but a Heavenly Warrior. Just then, Luffy bumps into Wyper.
All right.
So we get a lot of explanation at the beginning of this one.
Yeah, like I was saying in the last chapter, we had some questions about some of these concepts, and I feel like this chapter did a good job of addressing a lot of those questions that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely some good exposition here.
Yeah, right before the battle scenes, like it was good.
I appreciate we get to see more of. I've forgotten his Braham doing his gun spinning.
Is a revolver ocelot impression.
Yeah. 6 shots. That's all I need.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
The 50 Heavenly Warriors of Skypiea say "ba" a lot. Do they sound like sheep in the anime?
Yeah.
They sound like sheep?
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, they do have like kind of like sheep ears and little horns.
They're basically sheep people.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's why Luffy thinks he hears a goat, is because it's like, bah.
Right. I love that. I really want to watch that in anime to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did actually go and watch the scene too, because this is like one of the rare instances where we see Luffy singing, and like this like amused me like so much when I watched it the first time. The song's a little different, but yeah, it's just basically like a silly Goofy song. But I thought it was just like entertaining that Luffy was like singing while walking through the forest.
It's pretty funny.
That's hilarious. We also get like an explanation for mantra from Gan 4, which is pretty cool. And it kind of reminds me of like Chi in Dragon Ball, kind of like being able to sense people's whereabouts.
Yeah.
And capabilities.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. Or like Naruto, like their chakra, you can like sense their chakra and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool having all of these like new terms and new, I don't know, like rules of the world kind of. It's just fun having something new and different.
Yeah, and just because like they probably appear using dials, like that's some they just refer to it as like a sky battle. I think that's just like what qualifies as a sky battle, like up here.
Yeah,
because they're in the sky.
Literally in the sky, so it's just like
but it's just like those are their weapons, like dials are their weapons.
Right. It's just like part of their, like everybody just uses it as part of their repertoire of like techniques that they have. I do remember like in the last volume, like we had like questions about like how Chura's spear is like heating up and how Fuso was able to like shoot fire. So we get the explanation here that they're using like heat dials. What was it, like a flame dial?
Yeah.
For like the fire breathing. So a lot of like these questions that we had kind of comes down to they're using dials. So it's kind of like a catch-all in a lot of these cases where people are using dials in different creative ways to create these things. So this helps explain a lot of like why they can do all these different types of things is because they have dials. So that makes it more interesting than everybody just has like this one like set of dials and like they all have the same fighting technique. It's like everybody has like a different type of technique they have with the dials.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's mentions of like rare dials, which is also neat.
Which we saw with
which also explained
Wyper.
Yeah. We got the explanation after the fact.
Yeah, and Gonfor says like it takes a certain type of person to use a reject dial, which we see what kind of person who would use that. So
yep. It's all coming together.
I want to question though why Luffy didn't get to see a goat, because he was very excited about seeing a goat, and then it was pretty letdown.
Where's the goat? And it just falls on top of the car.
What is the song? Sorry, Joel. Did you already question what the song is that Luffy's singing? Humdy Dum. There's a lovely island in the south. My head is empty. I'm a fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah, so it's just like a little nonsense song. I actually kind of like the anime version a little bit better because like it's like something like people in the north are like cold and like the hair like in the head's like really chilly or something like that, and it's like people in the south are warm and like it's just like something like that. It's just like a little nonsense, but like there's kind of like almost like a theme to it. This just feels a little bit even more nonsensical than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a goofy little thing he's singing.
Well, I approve regardless.
That's hilarious.
But I like how Gonfor introduces them to the dials by having Sanji like firsthand just smack the impact dial. He doesn't. He could explain it to them. He's like, no, let's put Sanji through physical danger so that we can see it firsthand how it works. To
Let's
really
put him
stress that
down next to like a live grenade and like a concussive grenade. We got a pretty great
Usopp's
Usopp
reaction,
face.
too.
Yeah, Usopp's face, the teeth, like.
So good.
But he does explain that
Usopp's like, oh no, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say, it does explain that the impact dial absorbs what like you put into it, so it's like you can kind of store it for later.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just something to note here. But yeah, you talk about Usopp.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that Usopp was like, whatever you do, like don't hurt the boat, like don't hurt the ship. And then after Sanji hits the dial, he's like, that's odd. I hit it hard enough to like burst a hole through the ship. I thought that was hilarious.
That is funny. And then I think it's interesting to note that Eneru's mantra is greater than like anybody else that they know, because his mantra allows him to have like a range of the entire like Skypiea.
Mm-hmm.
So he can sense people from like anywhere in Skypiea, and that's how he can kind of keep tabs on people. Whereas a lot of people have like, if they have the mantra ability, it's going to be a closer range. So I think that's just also interesting to know that Eneru's mantra itself is just a lot more powerful.
I want to see Yama fight. He's so like just wide, just giant.
Oh,
face.
just you wait.
Oh yes. I think if like ever like one of the 50, well, in all honesty, the answer is that Eneru probably just kills them or something, because God forbid they miss a day of work. But like if one of the 50 heavenly warriors is sick and they have to be the 49 heavenly warriors that day, like that's got to be like, and we are the heavenly warriors numbered 49. Like, oof. That does not look as cool on the business card.
Now, I bet you they have some in reserve. So
Yeah,
if
probably.
somebody doesn't make it that day, they're out. Next
Yeah.
person who wants to be in, they just got promoted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everybody's like hoping somebody gets sick so that they can take over.
It's like the Baroque works. I wonder if they're numbered and there's like a number 1 of the Heavenly Warriors.
That I don't
got a
think
roster.
so.
No, I don't think so either, but
Maybe internally they think, oh, I'm number 1
Right.
of the Heavenly Warriors. Or maybe at least number 2, because I'm sure Yama's probably number 1. Unless I think he counts in there. He's in the little caption.
Yeah.
that's true. Bah. Man.
Yeah, I like how nonchalant Eneru was about Shore being defeated. He kind of laughs it off and says like, "Oh, he took it lightly. He's a fool. He doesn't have divine protection from the kami." So, oh well.
Whoops a daisy.
Oh, we also see an axe style in this chapter.
Oh, that's right.
Which one of the Heavenly Warriors uses to kind of like slice through a shield as well as one of the Shandians' guts.
Yikes.
So that's a pretty powerful dial.
Yeah.
It acts almost like a blade, like an axe blade.
That must be why they call it that.
An aptly named dial.
They were onto something here. Hey, you guys ready to move on?
Ready.
Yep.
Okay, Wapple's Omnivorous Rampage Volume 20, a titan of industry. The Munch Munch Factory is born. Wapple's business
Wowee.
further expands, now with a factory dedicated to making product. No, that's named the Munch Munch Factory, like Wapple's move.
Oh. I guess why not keep the name if it, you know.
That's a literal Munch Munch Factory.
They'll fix what it broke.
Look at Wapple now. Remember when he was living under a bridge?
He
Remember when he
doesn't.
was the little match girl?
The little match girl. That's right.
Ugh.
He's making his way up in the world. That young upstart. All right, let's move on to chapter 258, The Many Souths. The path to where the ancient ruins are, where the threads believe the gold should have been a straight shot. However, everyone on the gold searching team has somehow ended up going in different directions. Robin being the only one heading in the correct one. Chopper panics as he tries to outrun the chaos of the battle between the Shandians and the Heavenly Warriors. Robin notices the commotion coming from the forest as she approaches some ruins. One of the Heavenly Warriors lands on the ruins, which offends Robin, so she takes him out quickly. Meanwhile, Wyper warns Luffy to get off the island as the land belongs to the Shandians. Luffy apologizes as he was under the impression that the land belonged to the Kami and tries to be on his way. Wyper doesn't accept his apology and determines that he'll have to take Straw Hat Luffy out himself. Luffy is eager to meet the challenge. Elsewhere, Zoro gets caught up in a fight between some of the Shandians and the Heavenly Warriors as well, and witnesses Braham take one out. Not discriminating who has been taken out, Braham sets his targets on Zoro as he blinds him with flashing pistols and lands a heavy kick. Braham apologizes to Zoro for going easy on him, underestimating his opponent. Zoro says the same as they prepare to battle. Game recognizes game.
Game recognizes game.
So yeah, thoughts on this one?
My boy Braham.
Mr. Beanie himself.
He's cooler than I even initially thought.
He is a cool character. Yeah, it's a cool fighting style with the
Like
dual
gun kata.
pistols and the, yeah,
All right, Gunfu.
and the I don't even know if we know what they're called, but like the skates that they wear, the dial powered like skates, are pretty cool looking, and look very much like weapons as well as practical skates.
Yeah, I think they're just skates. Just dial powered.
Still wouldn't want to get kicked with one of those.
No, for
Nope.
sure.
Appreciate how quickly Luffy's just like, oh, cool, we're gonna fight now. Oh, thank God! I was getting tired of humming the same song.
Yeah, it's definitely Luffy's love language.
Yeah, now they're talking.
I love on the first page when we get everyone's profile, and everyone just kind of has a regular face except for Chopper, who's like in all-out panic, like scream. That was pretty funny.
And they have like
And
little
then the
diagram.
descriptions. Yeah, the diagram's so great. It should have been a straight shot. Should have been.
Yeah, so it's just like an arrow pointing like in the direction. Robin just going in a straight line directly to the ancient ruins. Luffy goes
course.
like downward, and then like Zoro's like he like swerves and then goes backwards in the wrong direction. And Chopper just kind of zigzags like all over the place and goes like upward. So yeah,
So-
everybody's just going in all these random directions.
The friggin' Family Circus cartoon.
Yeah.
It's just a simple visual gag, but just a smiling Luffy, bemused Robin, angry Zoro, and absolutely fucking terrified Chopper. I mean, it's simple, but it's
Yep.
effective.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Chopper's even screaming in the little diagram they have.
Yep.
Oh, Luffy's got a little music note next to him because he was singing.
I should never have come here.
Sky Island
Things
is
seem to have
scary.
gotten
Sky Island
pretty
is scary.
lively in the forest. So Robin just straight up like broke that guy's entire spine, right? Is like that seems to be what happened.
Yeah, I've been the one
More
police
like
world,
every
like,
bone in his body.
Yeah, or that.
yeah, he'll be up in like a few hours, no problem.
Yeah, considering
Yeah,
One Piece.
right.
Yeah,
He just has to sleep it off. But I do love how Robin's like protective of the ancient ruins.
Yep.
So
She's
she
like,
Yeah.
no
get
mercy.
off of that.
Yeah.
Robin is very cool. Cool, calm, and
Mhm.
collected.
Yeah.
I love that Zoro. He doesn't even bother hitting the guy with the sword. He just bashes him with the. Well, he hits him with the bottom of the sword, I guess.
Mhm.
Also, Zoro walking around, right. Like, what is he saying to himself about right? Is he saying that's the direction I need to go?
Yeah,
or
I
is
think he's trying to find he's trying to tell himself the directions that he's supposed to be going.
Yeah.
Because he memorized the map, remember?
Well, of course. Yeah, I can't wait to see Braham Zoro showdown. So
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah, I do love this moment where Luffy, like, when he finds out that like the land belongs to the Shandians, he's just like, oh, like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Like he's trying to be like polite.
he
Not realizing the
legitimately was
significance.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
my bad." Like,
But he doesn't understand the whole context of everything. That's like a little too much for Luffy. Like he was just gonna be like, oh, I'm not trying to defend you, my bad, but I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to move on?
Ready.
Wapple's Omnivorous Rampage Volume 21. The upstart Wapple goes corporate. Wapple's business has now become a massive corporation.
It's the first
Just
shot without the dog in
exploding.
it.
Yeah, just sad.
I hope he didn't get rid of the dog.
Hope not.
That is a
I remember his
corporate man.
roots. All right, let's get Evan's summary for the next chapter.
Chapter 259, Pirate Zoro versus Warrior Braham. Zoro and Braham face off. 2 pistols versus 3 swords. Braham uses dial power to maneuver quickly and emits flashes from his pistols to blind Zoro. Braham has the advantage, forcing Zoro to evade. Zoro goads Braham into a head-on attack and finishes off with one sword style 36-pound Phoenix. Meanwhile, on the merry-go, Sanji is suddenly struck down as Kami Eneru appears out of nowhere.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Just love me a Zoro fight.
It was a pretty good one.
This is a pretty good one. Because, Zoro doesn't have a lot of distance attacks, so he's fighting someone with pistols, so he's at a clear disadvantage.
Or so he thought.
Or so he thought.
Yeah, this is the first time we've really seen anything like this from Zoro. Where he can literally like slash from a distance and he can like
Yeah.
kind of shoot the slashes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the range of it from the way it's drawn.
Yeah, it's
Like he clearly
kinda
hits
like
him. He hits him before he gets to him, but it's kind of hard to see like how far away he was.
yeah, it's kind of like almost like a beam sort of attack from Zelda, where he just like kind of shoots like the slash at him, and you can see like how it swirls
Mm-hmm.
and like it goes off like into the distance. So he could hit him from afar.
Yeah, this is very cool and visually a very cool panel there.
For sure.
36-pound Phoenix. It's a very precise Phoenix weight.
But it just sounds right. Sounds cool.
It does sound
Look
cool.
at these goggles. Your light guns won't work on me anymore. So just give it up. They don't look like sunglasses to me. He figured it out.
Yeah. I love that panel.
I think that image of Zoro has been used multiple times in like memes and stuff before.
That's a good one.
That's funny. Not a very good bluffer.
I got distracted by the eel and ended up getting shot. Just goes to show I lack concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how he's being critical on himself throughout the fight.
Agreed.
He's not worried about losing the fight. He's just worried about, letting himself down.
Right. Like he's like, I shouldn't be struggling this much. I need to be better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like before he even launches the flying slash attack. He's like, right now I have a cannon aimed right at you. You are a pistol. I'm a cannon. And we get a brief interaction with Gedatsu. He still can't figure out how to cross his arms correctly.
Nope. Still, like, at least he's not, or at least at the moment he's not biting his lips or his whatever. But
yeah, he looks like he was trying to like DJ or something.
Yep.
And then Eneru just shows up and seemingly kills Sanji.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess he didn't, but doesn't look good.
Yeah, but we don't hear the heartbeat.
I know, but Sanji, look, he's just. He'll have like a fried chicken in there, and it'll work at his heart for long enough for him to get back up. Like,
man, that's a pretty intense cell though. With Sanji all beat up, and that look that Nami is giving is like just like a petrified look.
Yeah,
pretty intense stuff. I do like Eneru's character design a lot, just like visually.
Yeah.
I can't stand his persona, but visually he's like a cool. It's just a very cool with like the kind of like circle floating around him and the big baggy pants.
Yeah,
just a cool look.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to add here.
Yeah, good fight. Good one move, but Zoro had to think it through. Good stuff.
Current Kami versus past Kami. And you can see that Ganfor is sweating like crazy. Like he is not comfortable being this close to Eneru.
Yeah. He's like, why are you here? Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, ready to move on?
Ready.
In chapter 260, Pirate Luffy versus Berserker Wyper. Usopp realizes that Sanji is still alive when he realizes that he was listening to the wrong side of his chest for a heartbeat. Eneru's assault isn't over, as he swiftly takes out Usopp as well. Gonfor demands that Eneru explain what his plans are. Eneru assures Gonfor that his former warriors are safe, as they've been working on something for him these past 6 years. The time will soon come to an end, as he plans to leave this island and will have no further use for it. Eneru tells Gonfor that he is ignorant to the real reason why everyone wants to claim Upper Yard for themselves. It's because of the gold in the ruins of Shandora. Gonfor doesn't understand what he means by this, but Eneru says that the winner of the survival game will be the one to claim the gold, though Eneru himself is competing. Eneru disappears in a flash as 2 other figures land on the Mary. Luffy and Wyper are in a heated battle as Luffy is able to bounce away Wyper's bazooka cannonballs. Realizing this approach isn't working, Wyper changes his tactics by blasting gas that was stored in a wind dial in Luffy's direction. Wyper now shoots a blast of fire, igniting the air around Luffy. As Luffy tries to find his footing, Wyper suddenly appears from the side and kicks as Luffy evades. They're evenly matched, meeting blow for blow, neither one able to land a hit. As Wyper gets ready another blast from his bazooka, Luffy prepares a bazooka of his own. Luffy gets blasted away, but so does Wyper, as Luffy hits him with a Gum Gum bazooka.
Bazooka battle.
All right, thoughts on
this one? Another great like action sequence. And some of the blasts and some of the blows in this are just like drawn so dynamically. Yeah, it's just a really good looking chapter, like a really good looking battle.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
That bazooka has got some real firepower.
You don't expect usually when you see someone with a big like rocket launcher in media and fiction or something that they're going to be particularly tactical. But it's cool that Wyper is not just like blasting rockets at him. He's like, okay, that's not working. I'm going to switch it up. I've got specialized ammo. I've got a plan here. I'm going to trick him and I'm going to burn him out. Like it's cool. It shows there's a level of tactics here that you wouldn't expect from big man with big gun. So
yeah, especially because they call him the Berserker. So
yeah.
I do think that was a pretty clever and creative way to switch up the fight. He's not just like a one-trick pony. He has like other fighting techniques as well. So this is a I think this is a great way to switch up the fight. And at first, it's kind of like, wait, why is Luffy saying it stinks? Like, is he shooting like just bad smelling like gas like towards him? But it's like no, it's like because it's like explosive. So
his heart is beating.
Yeah.
Oh my
You listen to the wrong side.
It's so dumb, but like in the best way. Hold on, you stop listening to the wrong side.
So Eneru can teleport.
Seemingly.
I think it's the first time we've seen him just vanish out of thin air.
Yeah. And we also get another hint at his powers.
Seemingly, I guess. Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, and we see him take out Usopp with a finger.
Mm-hmm.
Casual. Literally falls directly on top of Sanchi, like literally just like stacking up bodies.
Just another one to the pile.
Yeah.
And then this is the first indication that we get that Eneru has been planning something, and it sounds like he has big plans. So he's been putting Gonfor's former workers to labor. So they've been actively like doing something these past 6 years, and Eneru's plans exceed like Skypiea. So he wants to like do something bigger than just like the land. Like he has loftier goals than what he's currently doing.
Yeah, wasn't that was alluded to in the last volume? They were like saying something's almost ready, and they plan on moving outside of Sky, like moving on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, so he mentioned Maxim.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And this is kind of the first indication that like he has like it kind of like what he might be like working towards, but we don't really know quite what that is. But this is kind of giving us like an idea of like what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that Gonfor doesn't seem to recognize like the value that gold has. Eneru does, but Gonfor seems like confused by this concept, like why people want this gold. He doesn't realize like it would be making people rich. So this whole concept is kind of baffling to him. So he doesn't realize how important like the gold is to a lot of these people. And Eneru thinks that's why everybody wants the land is because of the gold.
A fool.
Yeah.
More to it than that.
Yeah, and the volume, I mean, the chapter ends pretty much with Luffy and Wyper being like evenly matched. So they're kind of at a stalemate here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Luffy blocked that bazooka blast.
Yeah, it looks like he pretty much took that.
Literally just traded blows.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to add for the chapter itself.
Same.
Not specifically. It's a lot of fights, good fights, fun fights. Eneru's piece of shit talking about this gold city, messing up everyone's day, and or heart rhythm. One or the other.
Before we do move on, though, I did want to point out the SBS here. So there was a mention that something that Sean mentioned previously was like the privateers, which is what the influence was in the real world for the 7 warlords, essentially like legalized pirates. But yeah, that's just a point that Sean had mentioned earlier that has now come up in an SBS question.
It has.
Yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Oh, I appreciate it.
All right, Wapple's Omnivorous Rampage Volume 22. I married Miss Universe. Wapple marries Miss Universe, who surely loves him for his personality and dashing good looks.
How much higher can one man go?
dog's back.
He's back. Okay, cool.
He's back.
We can
Thank
sign
God.
relief now.
Thank God. Something's got to keep him rooted. I think it's all going to his head.
Yeah.
They appear to be doing some sort of synchronized dance move, right?
Could be the wedding
that
dance.
is? The wedding dance?
Or it looks like just kind of
I don't know.
like
That's
haughty
quite the
pose.
dress for a wedding. Yeah. Man, what's next for Wapple? He's climbing to the top.
At this point, he's going to become king of the pirates before Luffy is, but he's going to
Yeah,
become
right.
king of the pirate businessmen.
Popularity contest.
All right, let's get Evan's summary for the next chapter.
All right, chapter 261, Warrior Genbo versus Heavenly Warriors CommanderYama. As Luffy stands to face Wyper, the ground gives out under him and he plummets into an underground cavern. Wyper disregards Luffy and heads to face Eneru. Elsewhere, Shandy and Strongman Genbo faces off against commander of the Heavenly Warriors Yama. Genbo wields a powerful cannonball launcher, but he is no match for Yama's strength and axe styles. Yama finishes off Genbo in no time before coming across Robin. Robin has discovered an ancient text which tells her the age and name of the ancient city of Shandora. Meanwhile, back on the merry-go, Nami and Ganfor take up arms as they are confronted by Hotori and Kotori, brothers of Satori, who are here to seek their revenge. Meanwhile, still hopelessly lost in the forest, Chopper is in an utter panic, stumbles across Sky Boss Gedatsu. I probably butchered all those names, but
I would have too, for what it's
I
worth.
tried. Hotori, Kotori, Sotori. Satori.
Hey, doing good. Yeah, thoughts on this one?
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
I thought it was interesting that Genbo has like this shoulder-mounted, cannonball, and there's mention that like iron is a rarity in Skypiea, which is kind of neat and it makes sense, like being like a heavy raw material. But it's funny because like the Blue Sea people use cannons as like standard, battle, like it's like a standard weapon, and up here it's like this super rare, really powerful weapon.
Yeah,
thought that was kind of a cool little detail.
Right, because if you think about it, like the reverse is kind of true, where like the clouds are kind of like a big resource here, like the dials. But we don't see those like in the Blue Sea. So like what they have access to up here is like very different from what they have in the east in the Blue Sea.
Yep. Here's your Yama fight, Sean.
Yama. Such a weirdo.
Yeah, the weapon of choice is like a sash of axe dials, or like what is it? It's like it's just like a string of axe dials.
What page are you looking at?
When Yama takes down Genbo.
Oh yeah, it's like
I see.
his
Okay.
chest. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a sash that has axe dials.
Yeah.
And Yama's holding it like between
Tenfold
their hands.
axe. Yep.
And like using their body as like a battering ram, and then laced with axe dials.
I love the boink after he comes away from Genbo, or what's his name? Yeah, boink.
The triumphant pa.
So we get a mention from Robin here. It felt the year 402 of Cayenne. The city thrived over 1,100 years ago. It was destroyed 800 years ago. It falls right into the 100-year gap in the history of the world. Perhaps this island holds the secrets of the unspoken history that the land below has ceased to talk about.
That's true. And very
mysterious.
A seemingly very important detail.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those blink and you miss it kind of like details, but I think there is some kind of hint that there's more going on than what we've seen. We don't know the full picture here, but Robin seems to have some kind of a curiosity about this like period in time.
Right, and she also mentions it with the, I forget the name of it. Not the, it's like the polyglyph, or is it polyglyph?
The poneglyph.
Poneglyph.
So like when she was studying the poneglyph, she said she was looking for world history information then as well.
She wants to know like
Robin's
the real
clearly
history.
very curious. Yeah, she's very curious about a very specific time in history, and it comes up again.
Yep. So just something to note here. So I'm glad that Sean mentioned that. So maybe Skypiea might be a clue as to what happened. So Skypiea might have some answers.
Maybe.
El Dorado may have richer treasures than gold.
Yeah, and then Luffy, speaking about mysterious, he just mysteriously disappears. So did he maybe find a shortcut to the ruins? I guess we'll have to see.
Sure seems that way, which is probably good because he wouldn't have found it any other way.
That would be a Luffy way to find it, right?
So literally falling into it.
And then I found Gedatsu amusing at the end. Like I've been saying, like he seemed like he's still trying to figure out just how his body works in general. Like he's never used his body before. So now like he's rolling his eyes into the back of his head, and he can't seem to find Chopper, who's standing right in front of him.
It's hilarious.
And then like his like aide person has to like tell him, like, Master Gedatsu, you have to open your eyes. You can't see when you roll your eyes back like that.
He's trying. He's just trying in the opposite direction.
Yeah, and this aide has to like point out the photos. Like, look, that's one of the Blue Sea people. And he's like, what? It is. Any other thoughts on this one?
I guess Hotori, revenge from beyond the not quite grave. Or Satori, because they're Hotori. And they're Kotori. And they're all right. I'm most interested in the Robin stuff, as I think a lot of us are.
Yeah,
I am personally. Yeah, I think Robin stuff in
Highlighted.
this arc in particular, I think super interesting.
Despite the chapter's action-packedness, it is the Robin stuff, the very subtle Robin stuff, that is the most interesting part of the chapter for sure.
Yeah.
Agreed. There's something there.
Also, wanted to point out another SPS question that Sean also had.
Hey, I'm racking them up.
It's like he's read the SPS questions himself. Yeah, it's just somebody else asked about the leopard print tights on the nurses for Whitebeard. Yeah, so Sean had mentioned them and pointed them out, and we don't get like a real answer here. But
can I read Oda's answer?
Yeah, go for it.
Leopard prints have the feel of wildness, you know? They're great. Speaking of which, it seems there's an increase in nurses wearing pants at hospitals lately. Isn't that sad? Makes me want to cry. I mean, that's what Whitebeard said. Yeah, Whitebeard. I highly recommend that all nurses wear such uniforms, said Whitebeard. Whitebeard, that's selfish old fart.
So there you have it. That's why they're wearing leopard print.
Yeah.
Just trying to spice up the uniforms a little bit. All right, let's move on to the end of the cover story. Wapple's Omnivorous Rampage, the final chapter. The big evil is back. Wapple sets a sight on the world. After being completely humbled and having built himself up from literally being in the trash, Wapple's learned a valuable life lesson. Money truly can buy happiness.
Clearly.
Yeah, so after all of that, he is living it up and being a complete jerk still. Living in luxury with tons of money.
God damn it. We back where we started. Well, sort of. Actually, even worse this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to think I thought he might be able to change. I never really thought that.
But...
No, we never did.
No. Yeah.
There's no redemption.
Yep. So let that be a lesson to all of us. All right. Chapter 262. Pirate Chopper versus Vassal Gedatsu. Gedatsu has lost sight of Chopper and wonders if he has the ability to turn himself invisible. Gedatsu's aide shouts that he can't see when his eyes rolled back. Chopper asks if he is one of the Kami's vassals. Gedatsu begins replying by introducing himself, but forgets to say it out loud. His aide has to remind him to speak out loud. Gedatsu explains that this is the swamp challenge, as there are swamp clouds throughout the bog. If you step in one, you'll get stuck. He accidentally demonstrates this, as he himself has been caught in one of the clouds. This is no concern, as he shoots himself out by using his milky dials on the bottom of his shoes. Gedatsu shoots a swamp cloud from his hands at Chopper, but mistakenly hits his aide, who becomes helplessly trapped. Chopper helps him out, and they decide to team up. Alright, now it's 2 against 1. Gedatsu quickly dispatches the Heavenly Warrior with a jet punch. Now it's back to 1-on-1. Chopper realizes he will need to eat a Rumble Ball if he's going to have a chance at winning. Chopper uses his various forms to protect himself and tries to pinpoint his weakness using his scope. Gedatsu hits Chopper with a heavy blow through his guard point, but he is able to determine that Gedatsu's weakness is his feet. Chopper pulls off one of his shoes and jumps high in the air using jump point. Gedatsu tries to give chase, but is off balance as he realizes too late that one of his shoes is missing. Chopper transforms into his arm point and knocks Gedatsu out with a cloven cross.
Come on, Chopper, you're a badass when you actually try.
Right?
I wish he'd fight more.
Me too. Look at him on that last page.
Yeah, he took on one of the vassals by himself.
My shoe's gone. That face is so good. I'm a monster. I'm strong.
Yeah, I just find it's super amusing how Gedatsu, again, just like does not have a clue how things work. And like he's again rolling his eyes back into his head. He thinks Chopper turned invisible. And then he tries to talk to Chopper, and then like his aide has to tell him he has to like talk out loud. He's like thinking to himself what he's trying to say to Chopper, expecting Chopper like just know what he's saying. So he's just standing there like silently as Chopper's like waiting for him to like talk.
He also goes on to explain all of his moves before doing any of them.
Yeah.
He's like, my punch is so swift, you'll never know what hit you. It's like, well, now I do know, because you just told me.
Yeah, and he gets himself caught in his own swamp challenge.
Of course.
Yep. Yeah, this whole battle was kind of a shit show.
In kind of an amazing way.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, in a great way. I also love seeing Chopper going from like hulked out, massive bicep, like finishing move to then just being like back to his cute little self, flailing and screaming.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah.
I appreciate Chopper's commitment to the Hippocratic Oath by saving the enemy, like essentially.
Yeah.
And he's just immediately like, "Are you all right? Thank goodness you're alive." Like,
yeah,
it didn't last long, but it was still really nice of him that he was like, "I'm gonna willingly save what was a foe."
Yeah, it shows Chopper compared to Gedatsu. Like Gedatsu just carelessly like shoots this cloud and just like hits the aide like dead on.
Yep.
And like he's like, I don't care. Like if you got hit by that, like you deserve to get hit by it. And Chopper's like, oh, I gotta help him. So like he essentially loses like the trust of his own ally. But not that he really needed his help anyway. Except if when he has to like, talk.
Yeah.
or see.
Of the moves called the Swamp Cloud Burger.
Yeah.
Eat this.
Swamp Cloud Burger.
I also love how Chopper saves the guy who was drowning in the Swamp Cloud Burger. This is a highly trained doctor, and his way of resuscitating him is just screaming and doubles, just like body slamming him.
Chopper smash.
Chopper smash.
He's a doctor. Don't question his techniques.
Yeah, no, he's got it.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
I do think it was pretty cool, like seeing the jet dial.
Yeah, with one drawback, it rips up your clothes.
I'm sure that will never
that
be
is pretty
used
cool
again.
though. Wear a short sleeve shirt, dude. But yeah, and we've kind of seen this technique used with like the shoes, like mid kick, all of a sudden using the dial power to like speed up a kick or speed up a attack. But it's cool seeing it used like this.
Yeah,
definitely.
And to fly too. Uses it with the Milky boost.
Yeah,
Milky
which is
dive.
why he's able to not be affected by the swamp. Like it's okay, he got caught in the clouds because he can just fly right out. But other
Iron
people will
Man's
sink
out of
right
that.
in. Yeah, I also wanted to mention that they got a new translator. I don't know if it was a previous volume or not, but I noticed in this one in particular because they changed their translation for Chopper's transformation. So we mentioned before how they would use like the term boost, and there were some slight changes to the different forms, but this is more of the forms that like I've become accustomed to. So he's now saying like guard point, heavy point, jump point. So I had mentioned this before when we first were introduced to them. So I gave both versions that people typically go by. But I think the point is the more commonly used one, and it seems that they switched over to that as of this volume. So it's all inconsistent from what we've seen in the past, but I think this is what they'll use going forward.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah, so now the translator for this volume is Jake Forbes.
Owner of Forbes.
I also love that he called Chopper a stupid raccoon a couple times.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen him use the Cloven Cross attack.
Yeah, I think so. He hasn't used a ton of attacks outside of that initial thing where it kind of showed all of his attacks.
Yeah.
There's like here's the cross point or the various things.
Yeah.
Right, and that was a great battle, and he was really strong and like surprised himself, and he kind of turned into a little wimp after that.
Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry, Evan.
But that's still his nature.
Yeah,
he is like the youngest member of the crew, so you also have to keep that in mind as well. He's also the least experienced, so he's not like an experienced like pirate. Like this is like his first like time out, like leaving the country,
right,
from Drum Island.
It's clearly a confidence thing and not a skill thing, because we've seen him fight a lot. So
right, but I think for him, he's kind of like getting lucky, and he doesn't feel like he's confident with his ability, and he'd rather rely on his friends to protect him when he can. But when like push comes to shove, Chopper shows that he can defend himself.
Yeah,
he leaves like a nice imprint on Gedatsu's chest. You can see like the cloven cross part.
Oh yeah,
from his hooves. All right, anything else on this one?
I think we're good.
I think I'm good.
All right, so let's get Evan's summary for the next one.
Chapter 263, Pirate Nami and the Weird Knight versus Heavenly Warriors, Subcommanders, Hotori and Kotori. Chopper is officially a real pirate. It's official. After watching Gedatsu sink into his own bog, Chopper sees a promising-looking cave where he hopes to meet up with the others. Elsewhere, Wyper's search for Eneru comes to a head as the two come face to face. Eneru, in confidence, tells Wyper to take his best shot. He won't move an inch. He said he is going to teach him a lesson how futile it is to attack a god. Meanwhile, on the merry-go, Hotori and Kotori mount their attack and reveal that they are using a combination of flame, axe, impact, and scent dials. After a few stinky warning shots, the fight gets serious. Genbo is able to drop Kotori with a surprise attack, and Nami uses her climate baton and some quick thinking to create a smokescreen. Then, using Genbo's gauntlet, finishes Kotori off with an impact dial right in the kisser. That's
All right.
I guess Chopper does get some of his confidence back immediately because he's pretty hyped.
He's like, I did it.
Finally, I'm a
You
real
did
pirate.
it.
Yeah, so he feels he's now earned the title of being a real pirate. He's able to like win a fight on his own, prove himself.
I guess that's true. That is his first time like solo, totally solo.
Hmm.
Or did he though? Because that guy did sink himself, which seems like a weird tactic if there was not a plan there. although this guy does not have a lot of brains, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional. I think he just got knocked in, and
Was it? You think it was accidental?
Yeah, like I think Chopper just knocked him out, and he fell into the bog. And then Chopper just kind of watches him sink. And he's like, "Okay, now I beat him. All right, he's gone."
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good.
All right,
It
I
looked
beat
like
him.
he was struggling. Yeah, because it looked like he was struggling to like right himself. But then Chopper says, "Whoa, he sunk himself."
I don't know.
Yeah, because he went the wrong direction.
Because he used the Milky
Yeah.
Dial. That's right. He used the
Yeah.
Milky Dial, but he just sunk himself. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he might be trying to escape from the other side.
On the other side.
Yeah, and I love Chopper's like kind of like victory drink. So he's like walking and talking to himself. Yep, I'm a real pirate at last. Instead of looking for everyone, I'll find the gold and surprise him. So he's so confident now. He's like, all right, I can find the gold by myself. I got this.
He's got this.
And then we see
Oh,
the first time we see Giant Jack, which is a giant beanstalk, which is like a reference to Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, pretty on the nose there.
But that seems to be where Eneru is.
But they didn't have to go that far.
And Sean, do you have something?
I am glad that. I mean, it's nice to finally see Nami get into the action.
Yep.
Yeah. And she seems to pick up on the dial stuff pretty quickly.
And I appreciate her expression of like, this might hurt a little at the tiny little tongue out.
Yeah.
Keeping that good stuff. I wonder what happened off screen with Robin and Kama though, or Yama. Come on, Robin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really see her mount any kind of
Something happened.
counterattack.
Yeah, it's like the first time we've really seen Robin like struggling against somebody. It could be because like he's like a larger opponent. Her usual tactics probably wouldn't work so easily against him.
Yeah,
she
maybe.
like will sprout her arms and try to like pin them or crush them like in on themselves. But like I feel like Yama's kind of a little bit sturdier than that.
Just a bit.
Yama's got no joints to break. No neck to snap.
Yeah. It's like the perfect counter to Robin's ability. Yeah, I feel like the Hotori and Kotori fight is it's a little silly, but it's fun. Yeah, they try to like use like the different dials like by like using the 4 different dials to try to like confuse their opponent because they look similar as well. It's like hard for them to keep track, so they try to like disorient their opponents. But then Gonfer has like this cool move where like he hangs off the side of the edge and holds on to the spear with his feet, and he jumps back up, and then he's able to take one of them out. And he also uses his cape, which is also pretty cool. He uses his cape to protect against the scent dial. Right? Was it the scent dial? Yeah, the scent dial.
Yeah.
What's a gauntlet?
They had to fart into the dials to get the farts attacks.
They came well prepared, well armed. And Pierre had to be like, "Here's the gauntlet."
This is a gauntlet.
Yeah. Just made of iron from the Blue Sea.
A feast of farts.
Oh man, farts are funny.
When you're right, Evan. These are the takes we come to for you.
Right?
Come to you for or whatever.
Hey, if it's in the text, I just gotta call him like you see him.
It's true. I don't disagree.
Yep, I don't have too much more here.
Nope.
I'm good.
All right, let's move on to the final chapter of the volume. Chapter 264, Warrior Kamakiri versus Kami Eneru. Pagaya and Konos rescued Isa on their way to aid the Straw Hats. Isa tells them that she has the ability to detect the blue sea people, though she is scared as she keeps hearing voices fade away. On the merry, Gonfor tells Nami he must leave to protect the entire kingdom. Now alone, she decides she at least should tend to the wounded friends. She notices a new path of clouds lands nearby as Konos and Pagaya arrive on their waiver, though not discreetly. Pagaya suggests that she take the merry along the new river he created with a milky dial, but remembers he also has something for her, returns a repaired waiver. Elsewhere, Robin tries to protect the ruins from Yama's attacks as he has no respect for history. She'll have to lead him away from the ruins if she wants to protect them. In another part of Upper Yard, Kamakiri and the Shandians continue to futilely attack at Eneru, though all their attacks pass right through. Eneru yawns out of boredom as Kamakiri harmlessly stabs his spear into Eneru's head. Eneru shocks Kamakiri through his spear, revealing that he is lightning. Out of desperation, Kamakiri pulls out a burn blade, slashing Eneru in half. Eneru is able to reform himself, telling Kamakiri that his time is up. Kamakiri realizes that he can't win as Eneru lights him up with a 1 million volt Bari. Kamakiri isn't the only one who is affected by the attack. The electricity reached the Milky Road and silenced 20 voices at once. Eneru is unbothered as the real game can begin now. 2 hours after the game has finally started, of the 81 original fighters, 56 have fallen. 13 of the Kami's forces, 7 of the Shandians, and 5 of the Straw Hats remain standing, leaving 25 total.
Doom.
Okay, so we get confirmation of what Eneru's actual powers are.
It's lightning, baby.
Yeah, so when I had mentioned that there is a god or a type of god that Eneru more accurately resembles, I was referring to Raijin, like the Japanese god of lightning and thunder. So if you look up pictures of Raijin, you'll see that they have like the circle with the drums along the circle, and they usually have the tomoe symbols on them as well. Although I've seen like the tomoe symbol, like they typically vary from like depiction to depiction. But yeah, in general, I feel like that's directly what he was pulling from.
Yeah, clearly. Very cool. So they are drums.
Yeah.
Of some sort. Interesting. Thunder drums, maybe.
Yeah, when I was in Japan, I went to a temple that had like the 1,000 Buddhas, and they also had some statues of the different gods, and they had like a Raijin god there as well. So they had like the same kind of design.
That is awesome.
Yeah, when I was pointing out some of the like the sound effects as well, like in the previous like in the previous volume, there was like the bzz sound, and we saw like earlier how when he took out Usopp, it said bzz. So that was showing it was like lightning powers, but it wasn't expressly stated as it is here.
Cat's out the bag. The lightning's out the bottle.
Yeah, you were saying?
Oh, I was saying I love Pagaya like rolling up in his like lowrider whip with like the music blaring. I'm like he probably looked really cool rolling up with the Straw Hats.
I think he still had the like invisible mouth covered by a beard, like whatever. I hope so.
There's no proof that he has a mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool.
Yeah, but not very subtle. Not trying to keep a low profile.
No.
But he's got to listen to his jams when he's traveling. You know,
Yeah,
you can't have like a trip without jams.
Rolling up in style. That's a cool looking bike he's got too.
Yeah, and then he does have the waiver for Nami. Like the
Yeah.
when he says I have something for you, they don't actually say it. But at the end of the volume, when they kind of like show kind of where they're leaving all the different characters, there's a silent panel where Pagaya is handing the waiver over to Nami and she looks happy. So yeah, it's not stated that, oh, I have your waiver for you, but it's shown in the panel there.
Very cool. Refurbished. Also, this burn blade, I think Zoro needs to get one of those. Looks kind of like a lightsaber.
Yeah. Or maybe Isa should get one so she can complete her Jedi training.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Ooh. Good call. She is the chosen one. Yeah, interesting seeing Eneru as kind of like a formless being made solely of lightning. Like, it's going to be a tricky god to take down.
Yeah.
He all powerful.
Yeah, like similar to like how we saw it like Crocodile. It's like when you punch him, he just kind of turned to sand and he just kind of like reformed himself. You can see here that like Eneru just gets slashed in half, and like he turns into like pure like lightning, and then reforms himself back to normal, like unharmed.
Wow.
It's gonna be
biz fruit.
bzz.
Oh, you think he has a devil fruit?
Maybe.
He could.
Okay. That's interesting.
I don't know.
Joel out here just like pulling the strings and being like, ah.
Yeah.
Poking him here, poking him there.
It's my string challenge. No? Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
We also see how powerful that shock is because he kills like what do you say, like 20 of his own, or just 20 voices silenced.
Yeah, just like indiscriminately. Like did not care.
Completely. Yep. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, if this hits you, then you deserve to be hit. It's Kami's divine judgment.
I guess so.
Man, I'm so curious to see what's going on with Robin too. It seems like, she doesn't really have an answer to Yama's brute force.
Yeah, she seems concerned about the ruins. So she's like, I have to like lead him away. So she's more focused on that right now. She's like, all right, let's get somewhere. I don't have to worry about you destroying, history.
Yeah, distracted.
It looks like Chopper started climbing Giant Jack.
Oh yeah. Zoro's midway through, or defending his bento box over there. From a giant toucan.
Take a little meal break here.
Good with Robin, fools who don't respect the past are doomed to repeat it. Classic phrase, but one that always rings true.
Yeah. Solid come from Robin. I also found it extremely amusing when Nami didn't know that was Konoha and Pagia showing up. She was holding up the injured Sanji and Usopp as human shields to protect her.
Of course.
Classic.
Like, oh, it's you guys.
I love the image of Eneru with the pole right through his head. You're just like, sorry, I dozed off. You look beat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Very blasé about getting skewered.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious coming to the realization that like they were doomed from the start. They had no answer for this guy. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add here. I think that covers it.
It was a fighting week of fights and Eneru being a arrogant little asshole. Oh, he's not little, but Of the Shandians, 7 still stand. Of the Straw Hat crew, 5 are left. Total number left standing, 25.
Yeah, so big jump from 81 down to 25.
20 to go, according to Eneru.
25.
But he said there'd be 5 standing, right?
Oh, I see.
Oh, this is true.
So 20 to go. 20 to go until we're at the final 5.
Yeah, that'll be after 3 hours. But by the end, hopefully there should be. Well, I guess we'll see who's standing by the end.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying this arc. Skype has been super fun.
Yeah, and I think this is overall like a good volume to give us some answers to some questions we had about the general like concepts, and we got more information about the dials, the mantra, Eneru himself. Like we got more details about like his powers and what his plans are. We don't have the full picture yet, but we're kind of getting there.
We're getting there, piece by piece, bolt by bolt, fart by fart.
Any other closing thoughts on the volume as a whole?
It's good. It did a lot of like surprisingly inner character work. Like I was saying, with like Wyper being more strategic, Nami recognizing like the heat and the weather patterns, or the like allowing her to fight back against the siblings or whatever they were. It's a lot like for fights. They were smart fights. They weren't just like, look, I love me some DVZ as much as the next guy, but a lot of those fights boil down to I hit you a lot harder than you hit me. Like.
Yeah, and these fights wrapped up quickly, so there's a lot of them, and they're really not that consequential. Like there's some minor characters that we don't have like a lot of stake in, like with their story, but they don't take up that much time overall, and like they go pretty quick. So it's like not like to drag out all these fights, and it's just kind of like that they happen and they move on.
Just about.
Yeah, I like that. It was good pacing.
All right. Well, that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Are Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube channel at We Are Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we've recorded the podcast, so if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for various One Piece content. Next episode, we will be covering Volume 29, or Hotori. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Sean.
This is Sean. 1 second, I just got to fill my dial. All right. Yep. Move on.
And Evan.
Hesso. Thanks for listening.
All right. Well, be sure to bring along all of your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.